y'all, welcome to Makeup for Dummies. If y'all knew how many times I attempted to record this video, I almost didn't post the video at all, cause damn, the Canon stopped working, my mic won't connect, the DJ acting stupid. But anyway, hey y'all, welcome to Makeup for Dummies. Is that crazy? Literally, I'm making this video because I feel like I wish I had somebody explain makeup to me like this. The way I grew up, I was kind of tomboyish, kind of girly, but I was never girly to the point where I wanted to do my makeup. Once I got to college, that's when that changed for me. Like, it was go time. I walked to orientation, I was barefaced. Hold on, because I was serving. But I'm looking around, it's bare baddies with their makeup done. I'm asking everybody, y'all got y'all makeup done for this? They like, nah, I do my makeup myself. Excuse me. What? This is a beginner-friendly tutorial, and I feel like my makeup routine has been such a highly requested video, so I might as well do it. I used to watch makeup tutorials, but I would never actually follow along, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like they would always miss steps. I used to be confused on the placement. I'm confused on all these little things. Like, they would, for example, they put in the concealer on, then it just skips and it's blended. Can I see how you got there? We're going to break it down step by step by step. The one thing I will say though is that not all my products are beginner friendly per se. I've been doing my own makeup for about 3 years now, give or take. So some of my products are on the higher end, and that makes sense. But I will put product replacements in the description so you have starter out products that you can get at Ulta or the drugstore. Some of my products are still drugstore though, like my powder, my primer. But yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. Okay. We're gonna start with skin prep. I have textured skin. I also have acne prone skin. My skin is normal here and oily right here. Over the years, I thought I could just slap some moisturizer on like my regular skincare routine and get into my makeup. No. Good Molecules, niacinamide serum. I feel like this heavily reduces the look of my pores right here and on my T-zone. So yeah, I go on with that. Ooh. I make sure my face is freshly washed, and then I just put some drops, boom, boom, boom. Rub it in, I kind of like pat, pat, pat. Under eye to reduce the look of pores right here. After I let that dry down to where it's like kind of tacky, I go in with the Good Molecules Lightweight Daily Moisturizer. It has shea butter, avocado seed oil, hyaluronic acid to hydrate, smooth, and nourish the skin. This also kind of reduces the appearance of fine lines. I've noticed that this is very moisturizing, but it also kind of leaves my skin kind of tight, which I like because it just gives you a smooth base to work with. Okay, so now we're getting into primer. I used to use this. I don't like my makeup dewy. I like it to look matte. I want it to look perfect and clean. Whatever the main base in this is, it doesn't mix too well with my products. However, staying in the e.l.f. category, poreless putty primer. This is what I use. Bonus points because it's pink. I do it all around my face, but I put it primarily in the areas I was just telling y'all about. Like the middle of my face. That's where I really want to concentrate this product. I just feel like that's where it works best for me. But yeah, so I'll really focus it right here. But as you can see, I'm kind of spreading it out to the rest of my face as well. Put it. Another opinion I have too, hair comes before makeup. I don't want to do my makeup and then do my edges and all the makeup is in my hair. I don't like that. So I do my edges first, and then you can touch it up after, of course. You already know your makeup's sitting, your edges are in the place that you want them to be, and you just have to adjust. So yeah. We're rubbing. Okay, I want that to kind of dry down a little bit, so we're going to close this up, put it to the side. In the meantime, in between time, we're gonna do our eyebrows. You can fill in your eyebrows if you want, but I, one, don't conceal them. I, two, don't really fill them in. I have generally thick eyebrows, and I love how they look. I wouldn't want them to be darker per se. If that's what you're going for, by all means. But if you want a natural, that's what this is. This is a natural soft beat. Well, not natural. Whoa. I would say this is a beginner soft beat. So yeah. So I'll do that. We're just gonna brush them up. And then kind of like perfect. I'm using the NYX Brow Glue. This gonna have your eyebrows sitting in a spot. I kind of like, I'm rubbing it back and forth to really brush the product through because like I said, my eyebrows are pretty thick. And then I'm combing them up so they can look, ooh. I'm combing the product up so they can look kind of like laminated. Why does that keep happening? And then, like I said, I'm just gonna smooth it over to get that straight line I want. And literally just play around with it until, okay. Literally just play around with your eyebrows until you have your desired look. I know everyone likes their eyebrows kind of different, but yeah. So that's out the way. Eyebrows are slick. I also, once I'm done like applying the product, I'll take the top part of the product and just kind of like push it onto my face to make sure my eyebrows are laid down. I was gonna say, I don't know if I told y'all, I also have my laptop right here as my little mirror, so that's what I keep looking to. But yeah, push, 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 push. And yeah, see them eyebrows? They're slick, slick and out the way. Cool, eyebrows done. This is where you would fill them in if that's what you wanna do. If you are going to fill them in, light strokes. Don't have marker brows, please. That's going to look crazy. Please don't do that, y'all. Because if you do that and then you tell them you got the makeup tutorial for me, I'm gonna be highly upset. Like, that's not right. Please don't tell nobody I taught you that. So yes, you're gonna hair like strokes. Boom, 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 boom. Fill into the shape that you like. Yeah. Like I said, I don't fill in my eyebrows, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. It's looking fine. Period. Next step, okay, now that my primer is kind of dried down, we're going to go in with contour. I'm using the Makeup by Mario contour stick. This is the shade Dark. And literally it looks like this. You push it up like this. Okay, well, I must be almost done with this product, but, oh my God, but look y'all, it has a brush at the bottom, love. Okay, another thing too. When you're contouring, doing concealer, putting blush on, any of that, you need to know your face shape and your face structure. I have an oval head. You see that? An oval head. Meaning I don't want to, one, elongate my face, but I also don't want to make it look too wide to where I have like a roundish face. I kind of just want to copy the structure that's here. So if you can see my cheekbones, this is the placement I use for my contour. Up, it lifts a little bit, but it's still like keeping that round right here. You can also put some right here if you want to accentuate your jaw. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I put it on the jawline. I don't put it up here. That looks crazy. Yeah, so on the jawline, and then at the top of your forehead. Okay. Now that we have around the face, the last place you're going to put your contour is on your nose. It does not have to be perfect. You're just marking the spot that you want your nose contour to sit in. Okay, right? Let me show y'all how I do this. Pay attention. I take, it's a fluffy, small little brush. Just pick up some product, nothing too crazy. If you want to like smooth it out, just put it right here, just so you know it's flat, right? You're gonna put it, you don't want your contour to be all the way up. That's for like heavier makeup looks. You just want your nose to be like, you want your nose to be cute. It's giving button nose. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So you're putting it on your nose bridge. You want it to be a little bit darker than what you're initially going for, because once we put on our concealers, our powders, you still want to know where your nose contour is. For the top of my nose, I do it a little bit here. This is for like a button nose effect. I put a little bit right here. Take some more, and I'll put a little bit down here and like a V shape right here. Yep. So now you kind of have like this little circle in the middle, and it's giving button nose, it's giving cute baby doll. For the rest of the face contour, you're going to take this and kind of just like, hold on. You're gonna take the part of, like this part of the stick and just blend. Keep in mind, look, you're just tapping it. I'm lightly tapping to blend it out. You don't want to move the product. You don't want your contour to be all the way over here. You're tapping it in place. You're just distributing the product where it's already at. We're quite literally just getting rid of harsh lines. Also, notice that I'm not swiping and dragging, I'm tapping. This does take a little minute, but it's okay. Also, push that top contour. I'm using my phone to make sure it's really, push that top contour into your hairline. You don't want it to be hairline, skin tone contour. That looks wild. So you're buffing it around. You're also bringing it down. If I didn't have my edges right here, I would continue to bring it down around here. But since I do, I'm just kind of tapping it around to continue that. We're adding shadows. That's how I want you to think of contour. And this is how it's looking. Cute, right? Next step is concealer. This was the hardest part to master because concealer is so easy to crease. It's so easy to fuck it up. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all how I'm doing it right now. Whew. Now I got some product on my phone. This is going right back in the case because I'm not wasting nothing. The concealer I use is Givenchy Prisme Libre. I love her. Like, I really do love her. She's bomb. This is where you want to take your time, y'all. Take your time. Concealer placement. My girl is almost done, so not too much. I have a fresh one in here, but she is almost done. We're going to start with the easiest part of the concealer, which is the nose bridge. You see that? A little dot right here and a little line right here. I'm not dragging it all the way up. Just a little bit. Have control of your hands. I'm going to put a little bit on the forehead for a little bit of highlight. You can put it down here if you want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Also, notice how I skipped foundation. I skipped foundation because my skin is pretty clear at the moment and it's also summertime. If this was the winter or the fall, etc., I would either go in with a foundation or a skin tint. This is the skin tint I've been using. It's Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. It's very skin-like. I love it. But it also has coverage. So it's covering my blemishes, but it still feels like skin. So when I put all my products on top, it's not cake-like. This is the bomb. So if you have like pimples you want to cover, etc., I would definitely use this. It covers like redness, etc., pimples. This is what I would use. I would also put this on. So what I would do is I would do primer, put this on, then do my eyebrows, with the brow gel. So I'm gonna just put that over there. Back to the concealer, right? Right here, we did the middle of our face. Now for the under eye. You're going to put, this is how I do it. You don't want to put too much because that's how it looks like you're doing a full face and we're really not. You don't want to put too much, right? Because a little bit of product goes a long way. So I put a little bit right here. And a little bit right here. And a little bit right here. Now I'm gonna duplicate the same thing on the other side. This is how it should look, right? I'm going to take some setting spray. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Set. Oh, hold on. By the way, my concealer shade that I'm using is N312. This is probably like 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. I like a little bit of a brighter under eye, so this is what I go for. But yeah, if I wanted it to be more skin, if I wanted it to be closer to my skin tone, I would probably do 1 shade above this. Oh, another thing. Contour, 2 shades darker than you. 2 shades darker than your skin. Concealer, 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin. And then foundation, skin tint, obviously you want it to be the same color. I'm gonna take a little bit of setting spray. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray Matte Blur. Shake it up. I feel like it starts setting that makeup into place, because this is our creams. If you have a little fan, use it right now, but I don't, so I'm just using my hands. Now you're going to sit and let your concealer dry down. If you try to blend your concealer as soon as you put it on your face, it's not gonna cover anything. It's just gonna be swiping product around. You have to let it dry down. I'm gonna let it sit until it's dry down but still blendable. The powder puff is the best thing to use to blend out your concealer. I don't know why, it just is, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So, we're going to start with the middle, and then we're going to do our under eye. So, I'm gonna start down here. I'm just blending it and connecting it to this concealer right here. Another thing as well, I don't keep my concealer right here. I drag it to where I want my contour to start. If you look crazy at this step, you're doing it right. Okay, for the under eye, I'm slightly bringing the product right here. You see how my nose contour is starting to disappear? That's okay, because we can still slightly see, where's that? We're patting it out at an angle. See that? Make sure you're really getting in that inner corner so that you don't have any eye gaps. This right here is kind of harsh, so what I'll do is flip it and kind of distribute amongst my eyelid, just so it doesn't have a harsh line. Blending takes a little minute, I won't lie, because you really don't want to rush. Even if you have a nose piercing, blend it all the way down and cover it, because you don't want there to be any concealer gaps under your piercing. You want it to be very seamless. And look, we're keeping that shape. See? We're blending out exactly where we put the concealer. We're going to powder one under eye at a time because you want it to be perfect, creaseless. Using the Fit Me pressed powder. I also use a powder puff for this. Some people use the applicator it came with, but I don't really care for it, to be honest. I feel like this is pretty smooth. I'm rubbing it on there. You see how all that product? You're gonna take it, the back of your hand, and smooth it. So it's perfectly flat, right? But we're gonna put that down, we have that prepped. You're gonna pick up your blending powder puff and just make sure it's perfect. You wanna look up, pat, 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 pat. Make sure it's perfect. Also, get in that nose corner. Move it if you have to. You don't wanna be missing concealer there. As soon as my concealer is perfect, we picking this up. Straight down the nose, under eye, boom. That under eye looks airbrush. We're gonna take the excess and just powder the rest. You should still be at your looking crazy stage. Now we're gonna blend out this other side. Connect it down here, put it on the nose. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the powder. Take some powder, smooth it on the back of the hand. Perfect. And then y'all see how crazy I look? That's a good sign. I use the excess of this side to kind of powder the rest just to get rid of that shine. Big fluffy brush, you're gonna swipe away all the powder. This is kind of my like buffing brush. It's just a brush I use to make sure everything is fully blended and just how I want it to look. See, we're doing it everywhere. All the powder, be gone. This is also where I begin to fix certain things. Like I feel like this is too harsh right here, right? So I'm gonna take my buffing brush. I'm going to dab a little bit on the contour. Blend it with some of the powder on the back of my hand, because you don't want to put cream back on top of the powder. And you're gonna blend in that intersection of the contour and the powder on the middle of your forehead. Because keep in mind, concealer is everywhere you want to highlight. So I also kind of re-emphasize it to bring back some warmth after the powder. And look, we're starting to get some life back into our face. Okay, so while we're still on this contour, you're going to pick back up your fluffy brush that you used in the beginning and just re-emphasize your nose contour slightly. Just lightly brush over it. Also, notice how I'm not dragging it all the way up my bridge. It's just right here in the center and then slightly here. You don't want it to be too harsh, but you want it to look right. And I'm re-emphasizing that. Same exact placement. If you feel like you made anything too dark, use your buffing brush. Blend it out. Perfect. I'm loving how it's looking so far. Some people live it like this, but I love me some blush. So I honestly have two blush brushes. This is my main one. This is kind of another blush buffing brush. So this is the one I use. For the blush I'm using, this is the e.l.f. I lost the little glass part right here. e.l.f. Powder Blush Palette. For my shade, my favorite for every day is to mix these two right here. This one kind of has a glitter situation going on. This one's kind of more on the orange side. So I'll literally swipe, swipe, tap. So it's not too much product. And just... If you see where I'm placing it on top of the contour, but I'm brushing it so it's by my temples. So I'm placing it right here. But I'm also putting it right here a little bit. I'm just swiping it right here so that it's blended. You don't want it to be just concealer here and then a harsh blush. If you see, I also kind of concentrated it under my eye so it has a seamless blend. Another thing as well, if you feel like you put too much blush, pick up your buffing brush. You see that? It'll just take it away. You can rub some powder on it and it'll just mute out some of the blush. I'm liking that. I'm liking that placement. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I don't go higher than my eye. I keep it leveled right here. I do this placement so it's kind of like lifted. If you want to be round, cutesy, you would kind of focus the blush right here. If you want it to just be like lifted and not all the way, this is like an in-between of cutesy and lifted and like sexy. If you wanted to just give a sexy look, you would kind of focus it right here. I have it right here. I have that transition so that I still look blushed up. See, look, now I'm taking this and I'm muting some of that blush. It's too much. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do to the other one because you want it to be symmetrical. Blend in between the contour and the blush because you don't want that to be too harsh lines either.
You know it's tea when you see them two fingers touching.
Yeah. We've done all of our creams. We've done our powders. Now, the last things I have to do are bottom mascara, which is optional, and my lip combo. I do setting spray before I do both of those things because I don't want it to smudge. You're going to melt all of that powder with your setting spray. Whew. I just feel like I went for a swim. But literally my whole face is wet. Now you gotta dry it. Look at how it just blended everything together. I have a lot of lip combos that I like, but for every day I use the NK lip pencil in dark brown and NYX fortune cookie. We're gonna start lining our lips. I don't overline. If you want to, that's your prerogative. I don't. I literally just want on the border. We're gonna and it's already looking so cute. Another thing too, if you're always smiling and giggling like me, I put a little bit more powder right here on my smile lines because I'm a giggly girl. I don't want it to crease. So yeah, Lip liner, check, right? Now you're gonna take that fortune cookie. You're gonna take that fortune cookie. If you want it more pigmented, use more. I like how this is looking right here. This is some random like clear lip oil I got from the beauty supply, but and look at how cute the beat is. But wait, we're not done. We're not done. Battle mascara. Actually, this is the Maybelline Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara. I wouldn't even say I recommend it. I've had it for so long. I don't know if it's good or not because I'm just using it for my bottom mascara anyway. But I actually need y'all to recommend me some good mascaras because I don't know. Like, I don't know. I want to also start wearing mascara when I don't have lash clusters on because I feel like it eats. Like, I have to stop talking for this, y'all. Because one wrong move and I will have mascara all over my whole beak. Ooh! Oh, random life hack. If you have really sensitive eyes like I do and you're doing your makeup and they get watery, go. I don't know why it works, but it do. Okay, my very last step is highlighter. This is also completely optional. I pretty much, it's all broken up. I've been using this for a long time. The LA Colors Summer Highlight. It's not expensive. This is literally drugstore makeup. And look, it's like, it's all gone. I literally just take my finger, dab it on there, smooth it out. I literally use my hand as a buffer as well. It's just perfect, right? Smooth it out. I just put it a little bit on my nose bridge, a little bit on the tip of my nose. You can put as much or as little as you'd like. And then I just use my buffing brush to like brush off the excess. But yes, you can also put it like right here if you desire. I sometimes do that, sometimes don't. But yes, y'all, this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. This is good enough for the club. It's good enough for errands, whatever you want to do. Make it do what it do. I hope my tutorial was as beginner friendly. Let me know in the comments. If you try out this routine, please send me pictures. I want to see it. Like, please, 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 please. I definitely want to see it. I want to support y'all. But yes, this is the end of my beat. I'm gonna give you a little close up and yeah. Bye, love y'all.